What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. Today is going to be a relatively quick demo video on a pair of original hilts, original Tierfon Orbital hilts. These are the NullRevs, ladies and gentlemen. Right, so this is the second wave of commissioned NullRevs that are going out. There are two. I'm doing these in pairs. I feel like it's just like easier to do them in like batches, right? So I just wanted to quickly go over both of these hilts. We will put a battery in both of them. I'm not going to come into Fusion and go over the chassis because I feel like we've done that already, right? But I do want to quickly go over a demo and show both of the buyers of these hilts that everything is in working order, all that, typically what I do for every video, right? But I do want to go over how to use them. We'll talk a little bit about what goes into each hilt, like parts wise and greeblies wise. And then we will put blades in them, and then we will be on our way, right? So anyhow, with all of that out of the way, let's come up top. All right, so here they are. These are the NullRevs. These will be the first edition of the NullRevs, right? I will be changing. There will be a new version of the NullRev coming out soon for multiple reasons. One being the fact that these Hakusen boxes are non-existent. I feel like I've probably exhausted the world's supply of these Hakusen shoe mount. These are a vintage Hakusen flash gun or flash bulb shoe mounts. And they look great. I love wiring them up to be functional. However, they are impossible to find. Even harder to find than like Canon Y control boxes. So I have made an updated version. I've actually designed my own control box, and I will be releasing an updated version of the NullRev with an updated claw as well. The updated claw has got a very interesting kill switch, external kill switch position. A lot of updates, right, to the new one, new pommel. So anyhow, yeah. So the Hakusen, I love this control box. I love using vintage parts anytime I can. However, unfortunately, the demand has exceeded the supply, right? So I have a lot of people that are asking for these hilts, and that's great. I'm very, very grateful for the demand of them. But unfortunately, I just cannot find any more of these boxes, right? So I'm going to have to change up the design a little bit, right? So, which is unfortunate because I really, really love using these, right? I love like modifying them to be functional. So anyhow, let's start at the bottom and make our way up, and then we will put a battery in both of these, right? So the majority of these parts are custom Saber shop parts, right? So this is a custom Saber shop pommel, custom Saber shop blade holder. There are some custom Saber shop parts underneath this claw. Now, this claw, both of the claws in these builds were designed by me. Now, initially, the first couple of NullRevs, I had the custom Saber shop machine custom claws for me. Now, unfortunately, the custom Saber shop are no longer doing custom machined parts. So these claws, and the last ones that I did previously and the next batch, they're all custom 3D printed aluminum. And they're a little bit different. I just added some extra like flourishes to these, right? So there's like a gap indentation up top here and down below. But other than that, they're just the same claw, like design, right? But because I can't get them custom machined anymore, I'm going through a cast. They're cast basically, right? But yeah, anyhow, so the pommel, let's start at the pommel, right? So the pommels are completely removable pommels. We've got a speaker pod inside of the pommel, okay, with a 4-rail PCB. This is from Stardust Sabers, okay? I like using Herb's PCBs because they are a little bit unique, and the 4-rail has a smaller footprint, right? I need an extra 2 conductors because I have a red LED in this pommel, right? So I've got 2 conductors for my speaker and 2 for this red LED. This blinks independently and is its own blade in the config, okay? Cover tech wheel around here, and we've got another like switch box. This is from the custom Saber shop as well. Everything has been threaded in place with some hardware, right? Nothing's JB welded, everything's threaded with hardware. And then we've got a pommel cap at the bottom. This is brass from the custom Saber shop as well, okay? So that's the pommel. I'm going to go ahead and put the pommel back on. Now the claw, so these two clamps, right? So initially on the original design of this, I used clamps that I actually got from the Saber merchant. And those clamps, unfortunately, are not available, weren't available anymore either. So I just designed new ones that are very similar to the ones, they're just like bike hose clamp or bike brake clamps, right? I just designed them to have Tierfon in Arabesh in them, right? So there's Tierfon around this greebly in Arabesh, and there's also Tierfon here branding in Arabesh on both of those clamps, right? Both of them have been threaded with hardware, so you can loosen them if you want. I don't suggest doing that, but again, whoops, look at that game. The hose clamp came out. Nothing's JB welded. Everything is screwed in and threaded with hardware, okay? Initially, the first couple of NullRevs had a copper or a brass tube in them. And I had mentioned in one of my videos that how much of a pain bending those tubes was. So I actually just designed one in Fusion and had them printed in brass. These look a little bit more like pipe conduit, right? Now this is JB welded into this bike clamp, right? So that greebly is glued into place into that bike clamp. Okay, we've got a red greebly here. Initially, this was just a red threaded button from an old Canon Y assembly, but obviously I can't find those as readily available as I'd like to. But so this is just a regular greebly that's been painted. Okay, and then I've got a resin printed Rebel logo that is inside of this clamp that has been painted red as well. And then of course there's our claw. Here is the infamous Hakusen shoe mount. Now, with these two, I am going to include the boxes, the Hakusen vintage boxes. Somebody asked about that in a post a couple of weeks ago. I still have the boxes from the previous build, so if you purchased a NullRev from me and you want these boxes, I'd be happy to give them to you. So just reach out to me and let me know. I have plenty of these. This is cool. I love old stuff like this, right? They're aluminum boxes. They still have the user manual in them. I am a sucker for old vintage stuff like this, so I'll be including that, right? So this is a Hakusen flash shoe mount that I have modified to be a switch control box, right? So this side button, which is the release button for the flash mount, this has been wired up to aux. There is a very small tactile switch in here, and then up top we have a very small brass hat tactile switch underneath this clamp card. This clamp card was made by Chris Skinner over at CAS Designs. Chris gave me a bunch of these a while back, and I've been using them in my builds. So these are great. They're really, really cool. They're very unique. Chris designed these himself, right? This conduit, this tubing, is a sterling silver bezel wire that I turn around a brass bar just to make it look like it's corkscrewing, right? There are just some very small brass watch parts that are in these holes as extra greeblies. And then up top, this brass piece is reminiscent of a Graflex flash gun like cell holder, but this is actually custom designed as well and printed in brass, right? So I designed this to look like a Graflex flash gun, like battery cell holder, but I actually just added these extra holes, these kidney-shaped holes in them. There is a steel knurled thumb screw here. This has been threaded into place and heat stained, and that's it. Very quick walkthrough on everything that goes into the build, right? So everything, these parts are not powder coated. I do a very, very convoluted and complicated and incredibly extra process to make all of these parts black, right? Essentially, this is all aluminum black that's been sealed, right? I could probably get away with just doing everything powder coated, but I like the dull look of aluminum black that's been sealed. I think it looks a little bit more unique than just regular powder coating, right? Here is the chassis. Okay, we've got a tilted Proffie board setup. This is just peeks out just underneath the threads here. So you have easy access to your USB port and your SD card. Let me get a battery. I have one right here, right? Spring side is your negative. Take the flat part of your battery, put that down towards that 4-rail PCB, okay? You are not going to hear anything because you don't have your speaker connected yet. Then you want to thread on your grip, okay? And then you can hit your kill switch, your external kill switch. There's that external red LED. All right. And the same will go for this other one. Okay. All right. So they're both ready to go. Let's come down to the bottom. So there's a closer look at that pommel. And then that updated like brass bar. Hakusen shoe mount. It's a shame that I can't find more of these. I really, really love wiring these up. I mean, this is just like, I love using vintage parts anytime I can. Okay, let's put a blade in them. Okay, so 1-inch blade holder. As I mentioned, there is a steel knurled thumb screw that will serve as your blade retention. Just rest your blade on those PCB pins, and then you can tighten that thumb screw, and you are good to go. Let's see what else we got on here. One more. Yeah, I activated battle mode. There we go.
Your son, he's gone. He was with his bullets like that. So I destroyed him.
One more.
Crystal focus.
All right. Let's go ahead and put the blade in the other one really quick. All right. So that is it. Those are the NullRevs from Tierfon Orbital, from myself, from Tierfon Orbital. Really, really happy with this design. I'm a speeder guy at heart, and I really, really like this design. I mean, it's just a very, very cool looking hilt, and how can you go wrong with an external kill switch, right? So yeah, that just part announcement, part demo. I actually have completed the first prototype for the new version of the NullRev. I'm looking forward to, it's like right there. It's like looking right at me. I'm looking forward to posting glams of it and announcing it because a lot of people have been asking. So yeah, it's unfortunate that, I can't find many more of those Hakusen flash mounts, but it's my own fault, right? Because I think I've cleaned out the world supply. So anyhow. That's what happens. So with all that out of the way, to the customers for both of these, thank you very, very much. For everyone's interest in this hilt, I'm very, very grateful. People have been very, very supportive. I'm actually kind of shocked at how fast these are going. Every time that I complete a pair, I open up new slots on my site, and as soon as I open them up, they are gone. So if anyone is interested, on my site, there should be an option to be notified when there's new stock available. I've recently added that to my shop. So if anyone wants to be notified when there are new slots available, I suggest doing that. So that's a cool feature to be notified. So anyhow, to both of the customers of these hilts, thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.